Now we want to bring you something very special tonight. We're sharing the stories of two long-term, more than 20-year survivors of pancreatic cancer to share with us how they've been able to battle the disease and live long, productive, and happy lives. We invite you to meet Bill Eblin and Kay Kays. Let's hear more about their stories and how they're fighting pancreatic cancer. Bill Eblin is joining us now. Bill, thank you for being here with us.
Thanks, Brenda, for having me. Appreciate it.
Bill, when were you diagnosed and how did you find out you had pancreatic cancer?
I believe it was June of '98. Like I said, I just moved down to Fort Lauderdale, started a software engineering job down there with a startup company. And all the time I had been sick and throwing up, and I thought it was kind of just acid reflux. And I finally went to went to Miami University Sylvester Cancer Clinic as the VA, the Veterans Administration had one of my doctors had recommended that I go there and talk to the chief surgeon. They did their PET scan and they found the large, tumor on my pancreas on the tip of it. He said, I can't tell if that's cancer or not, until I get in there and dig around and find out. He goes, so I need your, he had I had it for the longest time. He had a manila envelope, a big brown one. He drew this big horseshoe, which is now on my belly. He says, I'm going to take this, put a big line through. I'm taking all that out. And I'm like, okay, I just don't want to be in pain anymore. So you do what you got to do. And so I really didn't know until I woke up from the surgery. And he says, oh, you're a lucky boy. You had about 3 months to live. And it's good that you got in here when you did. So I really, believe it or not, I didn't know until after the surgery. But I know that, 3 months to live versus, I'm still here 22 years later. That's when I found out.
And how have you been able to battle this disease for so long? What keeps you going?
It's something I keep an eye on. I don't have a lot of recurring treatment. I have a lot of scans, and I've got 6 tumors on my pancreas right now. And I do have a what's called MEN1 type 1 familial, which is a multiple endocrine neoplasia, which also runs in my family on my mother's side. I know that they're called NETs, I believe, neuroendocrine tumors. I still have 6 that I get scanned for, so they'll find out if they turn to cancer, because I believe that's exactly what happened the first time. It's something you can't really. Back then, I think it was 1998, they didn't have a way to really, look for it. They did a PET scan and they brought it up on screen, this big 3D model, and I'm looking at it, and that's in my stomach. They said, oh, it's on your pancreas. So they're going to do a Whipple, cut it out. Since they've done that, 6 more have appeared. And I'm not sick anymore, though. I don't throw up. I don't have a lot of acid. I would walk around with 2 liters, like a big Pepsi bottle liter, 2 liters of acid in my stomach, and I would throw up. I'd be at work. I'd have to run to the bathroom and acid, like all day, every day, until they cut that out. So when they had done the surgery and removed everything, I don't have that pain anymore. I don't have to worry about that purple pill anymore, which didn't do anything anyways. I think they call it for acid reflux, which was really, the tumors. But not feeling sick anymore, keeps me going. Love of life. I want to get out and explore life, travel, have fun, have some adventure, enjoy my new life with my new wife and her kids. And I like my job. I'm a systems engineer. I work with computers. Matter of fact, I started out with Roger Magowitz, working on his computers back at Mattress Discounters in like 1989. I think I was there to about 94, 95. Set up his point of sale system. But yeah, so I'm driven by a passion for life, basically.
And tell us how you're feeling now.
I have my aches and pains, but much, I'm good. I feel great, actually. I've learned to accept any kind of pain that comes over me and just kind of deal with it.
What would you want someone who just diagnosed with pancreatic cancer to know about the disease and how to combat it?
Unlike me, I would say they should not see. At the time, I was like, "Oh God, life is over." Uh, I would not do that. I would study. I would learn about the disease. I would learn about the treatment options, the clinical trials, the different types of uh, doctors that are out there that are familiar with it. Roger Magowitz for one. I'm hooking up with TGen and Honor Health here in Arizona. I've seen them now myself, and they've been able to explain to me exactly what happened and what's been going on and what will happen. And with more education and more knowledge about the situation that you would be in if you were diagnosed with cancer, you can process it a little bit better as opposed to not knowing and saying, "Oh my God, the sky is falling. I don't know what I'm going to do." Go find the information, look it up, learn about it, and approach it methodically so that you can process it and understand it, because it's not the end of the world and it can be beat. A lot of people do die from it. I mean, my father watched my mom go through lung cancer, bone cancer, breast cancer, double hysterectomy, or I'm sorry, double mastectomy and a hysterectomy, and then finally after 17 years, brain cancer took her. So when he was diagnosed in February of 95, he said, "No, I said, we can give you 6 more months. You're stage 4. We can give you 6 more months of, life with chemo and radiation." He goes, "I watched, my mom, my wife, Madeline, do that for 17 years. And that's not a quality of life I want to live. So just give me the morphine and, take the 30 days." And so he was gone in 30 days. But what I would say is he knew a lot about it, and he knew that, uh, you know, what his options were. That was, 25, 30 years ago. So I would say, or 25 years ago. Now there's a lot more information out there on it. There's a lot of clinical trials. There's a lot of treatments that didn't exist. And I would say get some education and, don't give up on life. Get out there and live it.
Bill, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. And thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Kay Kays is here now to share her inspirational story about her fight against pancreatic cancer. Thank you for being with us, Kay. Kay, when were you diagnosed and what's inspired you during this journey?
I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 1994 with cismucinous adenocarcinoma. I had the symptoms of weight loss, which I thought my diet was working. I had symptoms of high abdominal pain, which would actually bend me over. And I just thought it was stress or food disorder. And I had fatigue, which I thought I was just being an avid tennis player and such. I thought I was just being lazy. But they all, in the end result, I found out that those are all symptoms of pancreatic cancer. And I wasn't initially diagnosed when I went in for tests, but 6 months later, I ended up in emergency and I was diagnosed. It returned to my pancreas, which was the removal of my pancreas and spleen. And I had already had my gallbladder back out, and it came in my lymph node. And at that time, I was declared inoperable and had to go to several opinions before I was able to move forward with that. And then I've had it in the lung, which I had my lower right lung lobe removed. Mainly because when I was diagnosed, what you have to remember is there was no chemo, there was no treatment except for the Whipple procedure. So even though we have a lot going on now, during my journey, surgery was my only, a lot of times my option.
And how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling good after going on with what I have had, more surgeries. I do not have a pancreas, a spleen, a gallbladder, or part of my lung. So during this pandemic, it's been a little tough because my immune system is already not having the spleen. It's not as strong as it should be. But other than that, I feel very good. As far as doing my advocacy work, I was able to travel a lot.
What would you want someone just diagnosed with pancreatic cancer to know about the disease and how to combat it?
I guess the first thing I would do is tell them to, fight by faith. Every case is different. Be patient active. Get a comfortable, trusty team that you feel you can move forward with. And you need to take care of yourself with mind, body, and soul.
What would you tell the audience tonight about why it's important to support the fight against pancreatic cancer and the Sina Magowitz Foundation?
I have been partnered with the Sina Magowitz Foundation since 2005 when I first met Roger. And I partnered with him to do the very first T-Gen walk along with his golf tournament. I haven't been able to be as strong with him as I would have liked to because of my traveling and that. But recently, I have found out more about the Sina Magowitz Foundation and the gaps that it's fulfilling, not only in research, but needed things for patients and their families. I feel so strongly about what I've seen on this the committed people and caring there that on my recent appointment as one of two patient advocates on the Department of Defense for a $6 million grant that was given to pancreatic cancer, I named Sina Magowitz as my sponsorship because I'm very proud of what they're doing and I felt they needed to be recognized. The reason we're actually in this is one thing I want to mention is pancreatic cancer is even more stronger in the military than it is in the general public. So that's why the DoD has come forward with the $6 million. And because unfortunate heroes that we've lost that have been in the public, as Alex Trebek and Ginsburg and Lewis, next year it'll be 15 million. And so we need to know that cures start with clinical trials and patients should not be afraid of clinical trials. They are our future and we need to be asking about them and moving forward.
Kay, thank you for being a part of our event. We wish you continued health in your fight against pancreatic cancer.
Thank you.